Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, world, and welcome to the marvelous world of Ball Don't Lie, episode 51. I'm your host, here with my lovely host, Starkey. Starkey, say hello.
Hello.
Folks, a lot has gone on this week. A lot.
Yes.
The Super Bowl is here. Thank the good Lord above us that the Grizzlies' losing streak has finally ended.
Won't he do it?
Hey, thank gosh. I didn't think this was going to end, and I was there Sunday, and I was nervous the whole time. The Tigers keep winning. Kendrick Davis is a god.
I wouldn't go that far.
He's a godlike player in college. For the Tigers, he's a god. I mean, you can make the argument he's the best point guard we've had in forever.
Oh yeah, there's no question about that for sure.
He's the best point guard we've had since Tyreek.
Yeah. I've got a question about KD whenever we get to the Tigers.
I love it. I'm here for it. Let's get it going, folks. Let's start it off Sunday. This is the only game I really got to watch on Sunday. Was the 49ers and Eagles. I went to the Grizzlies game. Did get a chance to watch the AFC Championship game. Was keeping up with it on my phone. But, bruh, how about that Devontae Smith catch? Question mark?
Was it?
Here's the thing. It wasn't a catch by NFL rules, but the fact he literally was doing the hand sign to get on the ball, get on the ball, get on the ball.
That was smart.
And that's the best thing ever. When in doubt, we had in high school a little bit we had stuff all growing up. If we ever had any doubt, we always had a hand sign. It wasn't this. It was like XXX. That means get on the ball. That was our hand sign growing up.
And that right there means that Devontae knew it wasn't, but he didn't want to get rolled incomplete.
So granted, that was it was in the first half, first drive of the game. You don't know what could have happened, but you got to think Philly had all the momentum after that starting off. You would have had the ball on your own 39-yard line, I think, versus being down 7-0. Who knows what would have happened, but I'm shocked NFL didn't review it. And man, RIP. Just when I'm thinking, okay, they're getting back into it. They're driving. Brock Purdy goes down.
Yeah.
On a fumble. It was almost intercepted, but they ended up ruling a fumble. And then we find out yesterday, RIP Brock.
The rocket ship finally landed.
I mean, we knew it. I knew it was going to happen one day. Like, he was going to lose, but like, you can't blame him on this loss.
No, it's not on him.
I mean, he only played he played half the quarter. The first quarter. And then he was gone. And then they were down to their fourth string quarterback.
Yeah.
And then guess what happened?
He went down.
He got knocked out with a concussion, Josh Johnson. So, Starkey, Josh Johnson holds the record for playing most teams in NFL history. Can you name them?
Not all of them.
So he was drafted in 2008 out of San Diego in the 5th round. See what you can name for me.
All right, I'm going to go Jets.
Jets are correct.
I'm going to go the Browns.
The Browns are correct.
I'm going to go the Dolphins.
I don't see the Dolphins. The Dolphins are not on the list.
Okay. The Texans.
The Texans are on the list. That's 3.
All right. I'm going to go with the Falcons.
Falcons are not on the list.
I could have swore he was a Falcon.
He was not a Falcon. I'm double checking this. He was not a Falcon.
Was he a Packer?
He was not a Packer.
Wow.
I would say a majority of his teams are AFC. I'll give you that one.
Okay.
Go ahead and name the team he played for us now.
The team what?
What team does he play for now?
Oh, right now he's with the 49ers.
Okay, yeah. So you got 10 more left, and I'll go ahead and tell you majority of them are AFC.
Okay. I'm going to go the Colts.
Colts are correct, 2015.
Tennessee.
No.
Was he with the Ravens?
He was with the Ravens.
Was he a Jet?
He was a Jet.
Let's see. Was he ever a Steeler?
He was not a Steeler.
Okay. Let's see. Was he ever a Bengal?
He was a Bengal back in 2013.
Okay. Let's see. Was he a Charger?
He was not a Charger.
All right. Was he was a Bronco at one point, wasn't he?
He was a Bronco last year.
How many are we up to?
You're missing 4 AFC teams and 3 NFC teams.
Whoa. Let's see.
You're missing the team that drafted him.
Was he a Buccaneer?
He was a Buccaneer for 3. That was the longest tenure with 3 years.
Okay.
So you got 2 NFC and 3 AFC left.
All right, 5 teams left. Goodness. I'm going to go with.
Oh, I'm sorry, 4. You have 6 left. Sorry, I skipped one.
Let's see. I'm absolutely blanking on teams right now. I don't know why. Was he ever a Chief?
He was not a Chief.
Okay.
You just say when, and I'm ready to call the. I'm ready to call. Just say when you're ready to call the dogs in. You almost got it.
Was he a Panther?
No, he was not a Panther.
All right, I'm calling it.
Think of.
I know he wasn't a Ram.
Think of AFC East. No, AFC North.
AFC North. Okay, so we've said the Steelers.
No, I'm sorry, AFC South. I'm sorry. No, they're AFC East. AFC East.
Okay.
Sorry, I got my divisions confused.
Dolphins, Patriots, Dolphins, Jets. Was he a Bill?
He was a Bill.
Okay.
So think of AFC South now.
All right. Let's go. Colts.
Nope. He was a Colt. You already said that.
Texans.
He was a Texan back in 2017.
And then we've got.
So that's it for the South. Okay, AFC North. You got 1 team left. He has played for this team twice. Most recently in 2021.
Did I already say Cleveland?
You have said Cleveland.
So, we got the.
This team made the playoffs with the backup. The backup just got announced the Pro Bowl.
Baltimore.
The Ravens, yeah. Did you already say that?
Yeah.
My bad. We're going through so many teams. I apologize.
Yeah,
okay.
I know. We're gonna. This episode's gonna be as long as his career.
Oof, Jesus, I hope not. So let's go to the NFC.
All right.
You have 2 teams left in the NFC. I apologize. Oh, we got an AFC West team. Sorry.
Was he a Raider?
He was a Raider back in 2018 for the preseason. Still counts. So you got 2 NFC teams left, and then you have completed the challenge.
All right.
One is NFC. One is NFC East, and one is NFC North.
He was a Giant, wasn't he?
Yes, you already said the Giants.
Okay.
You got that one done.
Was he an Eagle?
He was not an Eagle.
He played for the Cowboys?
He did not play with the Cowboys.
Okay, so who's the commander?
He was a Redskin. They were the Redskins when he played for them in 2018.
Yeah.
The last team, AFC North, played for them in 2019.
You said NFC North?
NFC North. You've already said the Packers.
Was he a Viking?
Nope.
Was he a Bear?
Nope. 2 teams left.
We've said Green Bay.
You said Chicago.
We said Chicago.
You said Chicago. He was not a Bear.
He was not a Bear.
So your mind's going.
Yeah, he was not a Bear.
You're getting flustered.
I'm getting flustered.
What's that reflection on your glasses?
The one team, like the one team of the NFC North that I'm absolutely blanking on.
The Lions.
The Detroit Lions.
He was a Lion for 2019 during the preseason. So yeah,
Okay.
they ended up putting back. Gosh, that took forever. Let's just face it, man, dude. That guy's had he's made millions of dollars, but geez. You remember? So you're gonna find this funny. So do you remember the Grizzly injury riddled season that one year?
Yes.
Do you remember how we signed Ryan Hollins?
Yes.
So him and Tony Allen had beef.
Mm-hmm.
You wanna know why? Because Tony Allen gave Ryan Hollins the nickname Booty Call.
I'd forgotten about that.
Because every time the Grizzlies needed a player, they called Ryan Hollins, and he came running up.
Yep.
Josh Johnson is the NFL version of Ryan Hollins. He's the booty call.
I'd forgotten about that. So I'm going to write it down. But I have another. I have a hot topic when it comes to backup quarterbacks.
Okay. Well, we definitely have to add this to the best backup quarterback of all time.
Yep. Actually, yeah.
Ooh,
between him and Chase Daniel.
Chase Daniel, for sure. I got to find this. I found it a month ago. I saw it pop up. Do you know how much money he's made per NFL pass attempt?
Who, Chase?
I think his average pass attempt is is equivalent to $100,000 he's earned in the NFL, or $200,000.
Yeah.
Hey, I love it. So yeah, they ended up putting Josh Johnson, and next thing you know, Josh Johnson gets a concussion. So then they throw McCaffrey. McCaffrey, no, he overthrew it by a mile. And then you just see, and then they ended up putting Purdy back out there for a little bit more. I'm like, stop it.
They're gonna get that man killed. So
looking at it right now, the lineup, the quarterback roster for the sorry, I can't find it for a second. For the 49ers, you got Trey Lance that had 2 surgeries to repair a broken ankle and ligaments in his ankle. 2 surgeries on an ankle. Jimmy G, broken foot, and is a free agent this offseason. And now you got your future, Brock Purdy, who no one thought he was going to be the future, but he's made an argument he is your future quarterback. Absolutely. He's coming off UCL. He's going to have UCL surgery this offseason.
Out 6 months.
Also, how about this? Since 2001, do you want to name the only college football program that is to have had 1 player in each Super Bowl? It's a blue blood.
1 player in each Super Bowl since what year?
They've had 1 player in each Super Bowl this year. He plays for the Eagles right now. He was a first-round draft pick. He wears number 90. Big boy.
Okay.
They're pretty relevant right now in college football.
I'm gonna get the low hanging fruit here. Is it Alabama?
Nope, it is not Alabama. It is the Georgia Bulldogs.
Georgia Bulldogs.
The only team to have to be represented in the Super Bowl every year. So let's jump to the AFC. I think you watched this more than I did. Did you?
The AFC, yeah, a lot of it, yeah.
From what I've seen, it's just Bengals had their chance. They should have won.
Yeah.
The Chiefs were down. They were hurt. They were missing players left and right. But let me tell you what, they spent all this money again to give Joe Burrow an offensive line. Granted, injuries this year killed him. So he would have, dude, it was so bad. He was running for his life.
If I'm Cincinnati, I use every draft pick I have on offensive linemen.
I mean,
you're ridiculous.
It is. I mean, your team, this was your shot to win it, and I would tell you right now, they would have won the Super Bowl if they would have gone.
Yes.
There is no doubt in my mind they would have gone to the Super Bowl if they would have won. If they would have won the Super Bowl. 100% believe it to this day. But and it's just, why did we and granted, everyone's been saying the referees were literally giving it to the Chiefs. I didn't watch it. I got back home in time after the Grizzlies game on Sunday just to watch the end of it. And that was to see Mr. Joseph, what was his name?
Joseph
Asai make the worst mistake in his NFL career with patting. How about that? But let's talk about that, though. High ankle sprain. He's been hobbling all day.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how ballsy that is.
He put the team on his back of that play. I heard somebody say when he decided to take that run, he's like, yeah, my ankle doesn't hurt that bad anymore. I'm going to take off for this, 10-yard first down.
But hey, and then he gets tackled. Joseph Asai tackles him out of bounds. And then you know what I found funny? How about Joseph Asai faking an injury, grabbing his knee, trying to play it off? If you rewatch it, he goes down. But the unsung hero of the game is Marcus Kemp.
Okay.
Marcus Kemp caught that big third down conversion for 13 yards. Do you know how many career catches he's had before that? 4.
I knew it wasn't many.
0 catches all year. He's had 24 career tackles to 4 career catches. Comes up with the biggest catch of his life.
Yeah.
So you had Joseph Asai make the dumb. I feel for the guy. I feel for him. He's literally made the worst. I mean, if you let him go there with 8 seconds left, you're giving Kansas City was maybe, I think it was 5 to 10 yards away from being in field goal range.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you do? Like, I love your chance there. And I think KC had 1 timeout left, so it's literally going to be an outwards pass, try to get you a little bit closer to the field goal range for Buckner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If I'm Cincy, I'm loving my chances there. And then Joseph Asai makes the dumbest play, and he immediately regrets it. You see him on the sideline after the game, literally bawling his eyes out.
Bawling his eyes out. Yeah, absolutely.
So I asked you before the show starts, what happens to him? Do you keep him? Do you cut him? So if you think about this, we had a similar mistake, really. Not kind of, but we had a mistake that cost the team a chance to the Super Bowl. Brandon Bostic. Do you know what he did? I talked about it a couple weeks ago on the show. I think I talked about it last week when I was talking about Rodgers. He was the guy in the Green Bay Packers Seattle Seahawks game that jumped up to try to catch the onside kick. Yes. That was going to Mr. Hands himself, Jordy Nelson.
Yes.
That would have won them. They would have got Rodgers probably Super Bowl number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what they did to him? Come February, they cut him. The first chance they did. Granted, Joseph Asai, they drafted him 2 years ago in the 2nd round. I don't think you give up on a guy like that, but. And how about his teammates? Some of his teammates were just dogging him going in the locker room. Saying, you beep and should have just let him go. Why did you do that? Why? Just yelling bloody murder at him. I mean, granted, I'd be pissed too.
Right.
And the biggest thing.
in the moment, I mean, be upset, but at the same time, young guy, he's going after the greatest quarterback in the league. He had to have been hopped up on adrenaline. I mean, it's a mistake. Let the guy learn from it.
It's definitely a mistake. So, listen to this stat right here. If I can get it pulled up. Sorry.
You're good.
So, there have been each of the last 16 quarterbacks to lose in their Super Bowl debut have never made it back to the Super Bowl. Listen. So Joe Burrow missed it this year after losing last year.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to this group: Sam Humphries, Neil O'Donnell. Some of these guys you won't really know, but we'll get into them here in a second. Drew Bledsoe, Chris Chandler, Steve McNair, Kerry Collins, Rich Gannon, Jake Delhomme. This is where we start getting more relevant here. Donovan McNabb. Hard to imagine McNabb only made it to 1. Matt Hasselbeck, the questionable one that still arguing to say at the Steelers Super Bowl there. Rex Grossman, Colin Kaepernick, Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, Jared Goff, and Jimmy G. So, do you think Joe Burrow will join that group?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't think. I mean, if you look at the talent he's got there, you're in win now mode.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for him. I'll say this. It would be harder for him not to make it back than it would for him to make it back.
What they need to do there, you got Hayden Hurst on a 1-year deal. You get Hayden Hurst back there.
Yeah.
You got Joe Mixon under contract, and you still have Jamar and Joe Burrow under their rookie contracts. You pay Jesse Bates, your heart and soul of your defense.
And T. Higgins.
Yes. T. Higgins. Let Eli Apple go. Jesus.
Eli Android should have been gone a long time ago.
Because he's not. He talks too much crap and can't back it up. But like you said, you get more offensive line.
Yes.
Get some more D-line. I'm telling you, they will be fine. I think Burrow and them will be back next year. The AFC is the toughest division right now in football.
Yes.
Because we got some news today we'll get into in a second. Sean Payton now is going to the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
So if Russ can't win with Sean Payton, I mean, Sean Payton made Taysom Hill an elite weapon.
Yeah, he did.
So he helped reutilize or resave Jameis Winston's career. So the spread right now is going ahead and opening at 1.5 Eagles. Me, I'm jumping on that right now, and I'm hammering the Chiefs. You give Andy Reid 2 weeks, not just for offensive, but you give him defense. So go back to this. Look up some highlights. Look up how Jalen Hurts does against zone defenses in the NFL.
Yeah, we were talking about this off the air.
That is when he's at his worst. He can't read his own. He can't read his own. What they're doing is they're dropping their guys back in coverage, and they're not allowing A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith to find their spot to get over the coverage. And that's where those two thrive at, as you've seen all season.
Yep.
Because if I'm Kansas City, I'm literally allowing them to take their little 5-yard throws all day long. Taking that. Loving it. I'm going hard on the Chiefs. And you got 2 more weeks to get a healthy Mahomes. And get a couple guys back healthy to what you need. And how about this? We got brother versus brother for the first time in Super Bowl history. Yes. Now, we had the Hall Brawls versus each other, but not as players.
Not as players.
Jason and Travis. I can't wait for their show to drop tomorrow.
That's going to be so good.
New Heights, I love That's one of my favorite shows to listen to. I can't wait to hear what they say.
Also,
both brothers do have a ring. Jason, both of them with the teams they play for. one of them's going to be happy, one's going to be sad. I think either way they'll be happy for each other. So I know you said you had some news for us. Sean Payton to the Broncos, right?
Yeah, but before we get to that too, a little bit more history with the Super Bowl. Do you know what this Super Bowl will also be a first? Do you know what that is also?
Isn't it I think it's like the first two starting black quarterbacks?
Yes, this is the first
Both
time
from
in NFL
Texas?
history that two African American starting quarterbacks. Yes,
And both from Texas.
both from the state of Texas.
How about that? Texas forever.
We're
Oh,
on
by the way, I have a
full-
hot topic right here. I'm gonna say it right now on the show. One Tree Hill is way better than Friday Night Lights.
Oh, dude, I love One Tree Hill. I'm not.
I've
I'm
already
not,
been watching.
I'm not even in the front.
Like I watched it the other day. Like I finished season 1, which is like 22 episodes in 48 hours.
Yeah,
I love it.
that's one of our
King
next binge
Lucas.
shows.
Chad Michael Murray, baby.
Yeah, I'm not even in the front. I love One Tree Hill.
Oh, it's so
That's-
good. Yeah.
That's a conversation for off the air, but yeah.
You know,
It's so
we'll
good.
have. So I know you said back to the real world. Sorry. So you have Sean Payton going to the Broncos. I know you said in the past that the Saints still own the rights to Sean Payton.
Yes.
So what would they be giving up to get him? Because remember,
So
they gave up a king's ransom to get Russell Wilson.
Yes. So about 2:15, maybe 3:15. I don't remember at this point. Adam Schefter broke the news that Denver and New Orleans finally agreed on the compensation. Here it is. Denver's 2023, so this year, Denver's first round pick this year and their second round pick next year to New Orleans for Sean Payton and the Saints 2024 third round pick.
What picks was it again?
Denver's 1 this year and 2 next year for Sean Payton and New Orleans third next year.
So if I'm reading this correctly, I believe that's going to be so they don't have a 1 this year. That's what they got from Miami. I think I'm wrong. So I'm reading this right. That's right. They didn't have 1 this year. Seattle has a top 5 pick. So this year they traded this year's first rounder, along with last year. They traded this year's first rounder and their second round selection to Seattle. But they traded Bradley Chubb this offseason for a first round pick from San Francisco. So New Orleans is finally getting a first round draft pick, except they're going to get it 29th or 3rd. I'm sorry. Yeah, 29th overall.
Yeah.
So I guess it's better than nothing. But man, holy crap. That could be a juggernaut.
Yeah.
Because remember, Russell Wilson was starting to get hot at the end.
Mm-hmm.
He was starting to get hot. He was actually looking like the Russell Wilson everybody thought he was going to be.
Yeah. And it only took the firing of Nathaniel Hackett.
It only took 18 games. And honestly, if you really think about it, once he got his concussion, he actually played a lot better. And here's the funny thing. Most kickers and quarterbacks play better in hitters. Just like, so baseball hitters on it, they play way better in Denver because of the altitude.
Yep.
You get a little bit more zip on the ball. A little more oomph to hitting it, kicking it, throwing it. Russell couldn't do that. So
you can't bring the decision in life, but it makes you play better.
I think it was the concussion that really kind of sparked it for him. But so yeah, and then Dallas fired Kellen. I'm still pissed about this.
Yep.
Kellen Moore never should have gotten fired. Him and Mike McCarthy didn't see eye to eye. So Mike McCarthy told him, "Thank you very much. We appreciate your time here."
I honestly think McCarthy knew it was either him or Moore, and he used Moore as the fall guy.
I guarantee you he said it was Kellen Moore that designed that idiotic play against San Francisco.
I'm sure he'll.
And I guarantee you it was McCarthy, but So how long Kellen Moore was on the market? Less than 12 hours.
Yeah, less than 12 hours.
And then now he's with the Chargers.
Now he's only getting a job at plays for Justin Herbert.
He's going to play with Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, Mike Williams, and Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
Darn. I'm leaving Dak, CeeDee Lamb, Zeke, maybe Tony Pollard, and then you won't even know if you have Dalton Schultz or Tony Pollard back. So yeah, Kellen Moore's really losing that one. Huh?
Yeah.
And then you said right before the show started that Houston got a coach.
Yes. So also on top of that, Houston agreed to a 6-year deal with 49ers defensive coordinator D'Amico Ryans to be their new head coach.
Steal.
Yes. Yeah, Houston only plugged the coordinator for the number 1 ranked defense in the country. So,
I mean, and here's the thing: there's a lot of potential there.
mm-hmm.
I mean, and I think you asked me right before the show, what did they do with the number 2 pick?
I still think they have to go quarterback, but with D'Amico Ryans, I could see them if Jalen, I can't think of his name, the defensive lineman from Georgia. If he's still there at 2, they might take a long look at him.
I think they may go. I mean, everybody's pinning them, depending on what the Bears do at 1.
Yes, that's
going to be your biggest deciding factor is what the Bears do at 1.
And I think most people agree that Chicago's trading out of that pick.
You'd be dumb not to.
Yeah. I've seen a few people say they're already going to give up on Fields, but that'd be ridiculous.
I wouldn't give up on Fields.
The man has no weapons.
He has no. So that's why what I do is I literally trade down and build and you get all the assets you could ever want.
Yeah.
Hear me out. I mean, you're not in win now mode.
No, you're not. I feel like Chicago's in perpetual rebuild mode.
It's like the Orlando Magic. We'll get that in a second. But it's Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter, yes.
So a lot of people have him. How ironic would that be? Back-to-back linemen go 1. And he's just like Trevon Waller. You're literally drafting him based off his potential. If I read you his stats, you won't be that impressed with him. This year, his stats, he had 16 tackles, 3 sacks, 16 solo tackles, 3 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. But you're literally and that's talking about a guy you're taking number 1 or number 2.
Yeah.
And then you got Will Anderson. People question him. So if I'm him, you got to think new coach. What did most coaches try to do the splash hire, and they're going to take a quarterback in the first. That was I think most first time coaches do.
I agree.
That way you can kind of get your team. But I mean, they have Jalen Davis Mills wasn't that bad.
No, he wasn't.
I mean, just like Fields, he doesn't have any weapons. So Davis Mills this year had 17 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. Not what you like to see. His completion percentage dropped 5 points. But I mean, heck, Starkey, who's he going to throw the ball to?
Right, himself.
John Minchie's out. Nico Collins, no, and literally, Brandon Cooks wasn't even part of a team.
No,
he was there, but he wasn't. He has no tight end help. I mean, the Texans are a rebuild thing. I mean, I'm happy. D'Amico Ryan, what is it? D'Amico
Ryan, yes.
D'Amico Ryan. I'm glad he got a new job. Man, if I'm him though, I would have waited 1 more year. You know why he took it? You know he played for Houston?
I did not know that.
He played for I totally forgot that. He was a second rounder out of Alabama in 2006. He played for Houston from 2006 to 2011.
Okay.
He won Defensive Rookie of the Year.
That makes sense as to why J.J. Watt fired off a tweet earlier saying that D'Amico was one of the greatest teammates he ever had.
He was a 2-time Pro Bowler. He was an All-Pro his second year in the league. Yeah, second year in the league, that meant this man was All-Pro. Jesus. I forgot that. I forgot about this guy as a player. Yeah. So, like you said, there's some big asterisk beside what do the Texans do. So let's jump to college basketball now. Arkansas, we lost a nail-biter on Saturday to Baylor. Luckily, Nick Smith Jr. is supposed to be coming back any day now, so fingers crossed. Right now, we're in that 7-10 bracket spot now. Most people have us 8-9. We're in that 7 to 9 bracket spot right now.
Yeah.
So I feel like if we can get Nick Smith back, we should make a good run. And this team's starting to gel more. So the big thing with Arkansas is going to be shooting. Ole Miss, I don't know. There's not really much to talk about. Y'all got.
We're just trash. We're terrible.
And it's funny. Y'all started the year like 12-1. Y'all started the year off very good.
I think we started off
like 9-1.
I think we started off. Let me see. I'm pulling it up right now.
6-0. I'm sorry.
I knew it was something. Yeah.
So starting SEC regular play, y'all were 8-4.
We're now 9-12.
I mean, just a 8-game losing streak.
Yeah.
I mean, and you don't have your best player. And hey, but tonight you have a good chance to get a W. You play Kentucky, and this Kentucky team is garbage.
And right now, ESPN has the line at UK -7.5. They're giving UK a 68.1% chance to get the dub.
What's funny is this class had 2 of the best players in it. They were the number per 24/7 Sports. They were 8. ESPN, they were 1. They hit the transfer. They didn't have that many transfers. They had some people come back, especially Oscars this way. But man, they just can't buy. Here's my thing with Kentucky: if they can buy the ship, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, next year you're bringing in the 3, 4, and 5 top guys, and then the number 9 guy. I'm sorry, 2, 3, 4, and then you have the number 9 recruit coming in. You have 3. Yeah, I'm sorry, you have 4 of the top 10 recruits, so they get by. But hey, I hope y'all pull off a W. I hate Calipari. I hate Kentucky.
I don't see it happening, but at this point, I almost hate to say this, is you never actively want to see someone lose their job because, I mean, there's families involved and everything like that, but Kermit Davis has proven over and over and over again that he's not the guy in Oxford.
But you know what's funny?
He's a great mid-major coach, and he needs to stay at the mid-major level like he was at Middle Tennessee. He cannot get it done in the Power 5.
But you know what's funny? I remember you texted me that day, and you were so excited.
Oh, I was, absolutely.
For that hire.
Oh, yeah. I think most Ole Miss Rebel fans were.
I mean, you were the only reason why I went to the Kermit Davis hiring because you wanted the shirt they were giving out.
Yeah, you were, and I still owe you one for that one.
No, you got me the little Penny Hardaway little welcome home penny thing I still have.
That's true.
So yeah, we thought this was gonna be Ole Miss's year to actually make it back to the dance for the first time in 3 years.
It was supposed to be.
It was supposed to be. You're a veteran team. You had your guys, Matthew Morrell, a second team All SEC guy. Here's the thing: it's just shooting for Ole Miss. You can't make a shot.
No.
But a team that's getting hot at the right time. Memphis. Why do we doubt them? Have you noticed that? Like every year, we literally say we're saying the same crap every year. We hate Memphis. We hate Penny, etc., etc., etc. Time to fire Penny.
But let me ask you this, because Memphis is currently on a how many game win streak?
Let me pull it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game.
Do you think it's a coincidence that 5-game win streak coincides with the fact that Alex Lomax has been off the court?
I was actually going to say that. Yes, it does. Lomax is the cancer to this team.
So,
I don't mean in a bad way, but you know what I mean.
yeah.
But it's just the fact, Kendrick Davis, his shooting percentage makes you question a lot of things.
Yeah.
He's not the most efficient shooter I've ever seen, but he makes his shots when they matter the most. There's been some games, so him and DeAndre Williams are literally carrying this team. And Keontae Kennedy makes a big difference.
Yeah, he does.
Keontae Kennedy makes a big difference. KO, we all were wrong on KO.
Yeah, he leads the nation right now in block percentage.
Is Malcolm hurt?
Yes. I believe Dandridge could be back. I think I read sometime this week, maybe. I think Alo is still 2 or 3 weeks away.
I mean, with Alo, but here's the thing with Alo is what's going to happen is Penny and them are going to literally put him back in the spot. They're going to put him back in the rotation, and you can't do that with this team.
Well, Jason Munns put out a mailbag to the commercial appeal, and somebody actually asked that very question. And Penny was quoted as, and I'm not using direct quote, but paraphrasing here, said that Alex and Malco have to be the ultimate role players whenever they come back because we don't want to mess up this team chemistry. I don't think they're going to insert Alo back into the lineup just for the sake of putting him back in the lineup.
So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 9 games left. 2 out of those 9 are against Houston.
So at least 2 quad 1 opportunities.
If I'm Memphis, you at least maybe have to lose 2 games. No more than 3. 3 is most.
Yeah, you have to sweep the rest of conference play with the exception of Houston, and I think we can at least split Houston.
But I'm telling you right now, that UCF loss, not a bad loss. Neither is that Tulane loss.
No, the Tulane loss is actually looking better and better.
It is. We got Tulane Saturday. We got South Florida. Tulane should be a win. That's at home. South Florida should be a win. Temple's a tough team, but you get them at home.
Yes.
And then we got UCF again. That should be avenge that. You'll be fine. Then you got Houston on the road at Wichita State, Cincinnati, at SMU, Houston. So luckily, all the top teams that you play left, all at home.
Yes.
Besides splitting it with Houston. I'm loving these chances. Right now, I've been reading left and right. They have Memphis as a 9 to an 11 seed.
Yeah, that's the range I've been seeing too.
And as long as number 3 is out there in the court, Memphis can go far.
Absolutely.
I mean, we said that with last year's team. This year's team, I think, is way better than last year's team. And last year's team had NBA guys on it.
Yes.
I just think last year's team had so much animosity and hatred in that team. It was the locker room was a cancer.
Yeah.
They were playing for each other versus the greater whole. So next week's show, what I'm going to ask you to do is give me some of your top favorites. Some of your teams that you are looking at, okay, I think this team can be the national champion.
Okay.
Like me, I'll tell you right now, my team I'm loving right now, the Jayhawks.
Kansas is a good pick. They're having a good season for sure.
But how about this, though? Keontae Johnson, good feel-good story for the year.
Yes.
And how about the fact we were literally laughing and making fun of Penny because he couldn't get a guy that literally almost died on court? and now this guy's having a career year. He's literally playing himself probably back into an NBA draft pick.
Yeah.
But let's jump into the Grizzlies.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Question. Speaking of the NBA, I have a very quick because I know we have to get to the Grizz. Speaking of the NBA, I have a question for you. I've been hearing more and more about Kendrick being an NBA player.
Ooh, Kendrick Davis?
Yes. But he is not showing up on any mock draft I've seen. Why is that? Is it? I have a reason. I have a theory, but I want to hear your take on it.
So I know a lot of people are probably going to say it's because how small he is. It's not. If you want my honest reason, it's because he's just not a consistent shooter. So if you're a shooter in the NBA, you will have a spot.
Yeah.
I 100% believe that. If you can shoot the ball, you will have a spot in the NBA no matter what. His issue is he's not a consistent three-point shooter.
Which is crazy because I believe it was yesterday or the day before, I was listening to Brad and Bennett on 92.9. And they said that if you put Kendrick a step, not even maybe 6 inches inside the three-point arc, the man is absolute money.
So a guy he reminds me of,
he looks everything.
A guy who reminds me of is Marcus Howard.
Okay.
Played at Marquette. Same. Kendrick's. I think Kendrick's an inch shorter, 5'9". Marcus was 5'10". Marcus was a scorer. He was a shooter. His career averages, he shot 42% from three.
Oh wow.
The issue is if you're that small, look at Carson Edwards. Same scenario. Carson was money from inside. Carson could not develop a three.
Right.
Marcus Howard, he just couldn't create space. And if you think about it, I think that's part of the scenario with Kendrick Davis. Is he's not, if he can become a consistent shooter, he'll find NBA will find you if you're a shooter.
Yes.
And he's got to get his playmaking going a little bit better.
Right.
But if he gets another, which it's looking like he will, becomes another back-to-back AAC Conference Player of the Year, You're looking at All-American honors. He'll get I think at most he'll get a two-way.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's worth the risk on a two-way. He'll be in hopefully South Haven.
That'd be awesome. I'd love that.
Will be. So, what is your reason?
I was going to say that he is on the shorter side, and then just because they can't shoot. Those are my two reasons. But you already
getting the basket. He's one of the best at drawing contact all day long.
Yes, absolutely.
If I had to pick a guy on this team right now who has an NBA career, it'd be Jonathan or Chandler Lawson on the Tigers team. Granted, they're like a Josh Minot. The stats aren't there to prove it, but you watch them play, they have a great feel for it, and it's just they're playing under Penny. And Penny sees last names sometimes as a top thing.
Yep.
Chandler, I think, is the best one.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that.
Chandler is the best out of the four, but we'll save that for another day. So NBA, but let's get to an ad read. Starkey, you know what's going on right now? A winter storm.
Yeah, we're experiencing it down here.
And you know what I'm so glad for? My house is properly inspected by Mitchell James of Porch to Patio Home Inspections. I don't have to worry about my roof caving in. Anything going wrong? Nothing. Because, folks, we used him. And Mitch gives you 100% guarantee your home will be up to par whether you're buying or selling a home. Absolutely. You heard it here, folks. Use code BALL online or BDL15 for a 15% off discount on your first home inspection. Realtors, he's looking for a sponsor. He's looking for someone to partner with, not a sponsor. And he is licensed in both Mississippi and Tennessee. Call Mitch. All right, so go ahead and say it. It's your line. Say it. It's your line.
Like the Grizzlies called y'all call Mitch.
Yes. So speaking of Ja, thank the good Lord that ended. And I was there Sunday.
Yes. See, you were the good luck charm. You were the missing link the whole time.
Are you trying to say I need to buy season tickets?
I am trying to say you need to buy season tickets.
Do we have that in the Ball Don't Lie budget for us to buy season tickets, or
You tell me.
I don't know if we do. I want to sit down low, and I don't know if we can. I want to sit like where I can. I want to hear where I can hear him yell. So man, I was nervous.
I think everybody was nervous.
So, but first, you know what? I want to give a shout out to the Grizzlies, to the forum, FedEx Forum. Do you want to know why? We had an altercation. John and Andrew Nemgard got into a little trash talking argument, right?
Yep.
Well, one of John's buddies, like Stephen A. Smith, started chirping back Devontae Pack. And next thing you know who gets involved in it? Former Grizzly, the guy you don't want to mess with in the NBA. I don't care who you're going against. You don't want to fight James Johnson.
No.
First off, he's got a neck tattoo that says family on it. So and he's a black belt in Taekwondo.
I did not know that.
Yeah, man. So also, I don't want to take full credit, but the Grizzlies did rejuvenize his career that 1 year he was with the Grizzlies.
Yes, they did.
And that's still, to this day, the best giveaway in Grizzlies history. Do you remember what it was? It was controversial a little, too.
I'm blanking.
The James Johnson neck tattoo.
Okay.
It was a little mask you pull down over your neck and said Grizzlies.
All right.
Just saying, still one of the best giveaways they've ever given away. So leading into that, you had Devontae Pack and him going at it, and we're sitting maybe 15 rows up from right behind the bench, and you just hear them going at it, throwing up gang signs and all this, and then security escorts them out, escorts Devontae Pack out, sit next to OT. So yeah, that was a great thing. But man, we were getting down by like 15, 17 points at one time.
Mm-hmm.
Like my father-in-law was like, crap, the streak's never going to end.
Here we go again.
I was in my feelings. Sitting there eating my $15 cheeseburger. I got into a big lead, but man. And you see it, we're led by two people that night. Dylan was out.
Yep.
Not Dylan.
Desmond Bain.
Desmond Bain. Can't speak right there. Desmond Bain was out. So we were led by two people. Ja and Jaren. And let me tell you what.
Batman and Robin.
Jaren, when he's not in his headspace, that is one bad man.
Yeah.
His stats for the night, he was literally our best 3-point shooter.
That even with Dez out, that doesn't shock me.
He was 12 of 19 from the field, 3 of 8 from 3, 8 rebounds, 5. How many blocks did he have? I think he had 5 blocks.
5 or 6, yeah.
And then he had 23 points. Yet this man is still not an NBA All-Star.
Makes no sense. We'll get into that in a little bit, I'm sure.
So I may save it for next week. I don't know, my rant. I hope my rant's wrong. I'm sorry, he had 28 points. He was 1 of 2 from the free throw line. He had 5 blocks. And here's the thing, he was a plus 19. You know Jaren's the highest player in the NBA with a plus-minus rating? Just throwing it out there. Wow, right? Yeah, not an NBA All-Star. What?
Right.
So, but dude, you see him and Ja are literally getting the team going. Without Desmond, I know you've said it. You agree with me here. We have no shooting.
No.
Without Desmond, let's go through the order real fast. Best 3-point shooters after Bang. Tyus.
Yep.
Jaren.
Yep.
This is where you get controversial here. Z?
I think you have to put him there.
Jitty? When he'll shoot it.
When he'll shoot it. I'm going to reserve my thoughts on Jitty for at least another week.
And then I'll put Ja above Dylan Brooks.
Oh, yeah.
Dylan Brooks is the most least efficient player in the NBA right now, behind Trae Young.
Give me Roddy to put up threes instead of DB.
So you have John, which this is also variant because you could tell like Jenkins didn't say, he kind of worded afterwards it was just a regular game. You could tell deep down he was going to make sure they won no matter what. Ja played 42 minutes and Jaren played 38.
Yes.
Also, he was 1 point away from a triple double. Tillman.
Yep.
So honestly, people are
how cool would that have been to have two teammates both with triple doubles in the same game? Because Ja had a triple double that night too.
And how about the fact Tillman played 25 minutes off the bench because BC kept getting fouls. He was the Jaren that night getting dumb fouls. But let me tell you, when BC gets minutes, he's effective. When X gets minutes, that's effective. He's effective.
Yeah.
And he's the pros pro. He knows, hey, I'm not getting minutes every night, but it's hard to meet a person in Memphis that does not love number 2.
Absolutely. Yes.
I love X to death. But Ja had a quiet triple-double. It's his 5th of the year, 9th in his career. I forgot. I didn't know he had one to the way home. I heard it on the radio. I said, oh, holy crap. Yeah. But man, so the Grizzlies were 9 of 37 from 3.
That's abysmal.
Do you want to know who our worst shooter was? Dylan Brooks.
That doesn't even shock me.
Dylan Brooks was 2-11 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3. So, for the year, Dylan Brooks is shooting 31% from 3, 78% from the free throw line, and 39% from the field. Dylan is shooting 6 threes a game.
And he's making
31%. But what pisses me off the most is like Ja and Jaren are doing their thing, and you'll see Dylan just pull it up.
Yeah.
And hear me out. I get it's a contract year, and you haven't been playing well.
No.
Dude, no. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. So going into the year, I think everybody knew what was going to happen. This leads me into some stuff here in a second. You knew what was kind of going to happen. Ja and Desmond were going to take that next leap. Steven Adams, or Ja is your superstar. Mm-hmm. Jaren is your defensive stopper and unicorn.
Yep.
Your interior defensive guy. Adams is your pick and roll screener, and he gets rebounds.
And he's your
screen setter going to the basket. Bane's your sharpshooter. Everyone wanted Desmond Bane to align, or not Desmond, Dylan Brooks, sorry, kept thinking of the wrong DB, to align to, disagree if you will, to that 3-and-D role.
That's what they wanted him to be, yes.
And to that Mikal Bridges role. But Dylan has decided not to. In Dylan's mind, and we said it before, if Dylan and I think everyone was also hoping too that Zaire would take this next step.
Which I'm still not sure he will.
Well, so hear me out. He showed flashes Sunday night. He showed great flashes. I was impressed. The issue is, man, he missed half the season. He's a young guy still trying to find his role in the NBA. Hey, answer me this, Starkey. When is Kleiman ever wrong? He's been wrong one time. One time. That was Justice Winslow.
Justice Winslow.
Only time. Drafting wise, has he been wrong yet?
No.
We can't say anything yet. So all I gotta say is hold tight. So look at this. Mikal Bridges. You could arguably he's the best 3-and-D player in the NBA.
Yep. Agreed.
He's averaging 16 points a game. He's shooting 4.5 threes a game on 13 shots total. Okay, he's shooting 39% from the 3 on 4.5 threes a game, and he's taking a total of 13 shots a game. Okay,
efficiency.
Let me read you Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks is shooting 15 shots a game, 6 threes, and he's averaging 15.5 points. Mikal Bridges is also shooting 46% from the floor. Mikal knows
Yeah.
his role.
Yes, he does. Absolutely.
He knows my job is to sit here and make threes, and my job is to play defense. He can make my shots when it comes to me.
Yep.
Dylan won't. I don't know why it won't go through his head. So I asked people before we were going to the game. We were at Silky's hanging out, watching the football game. Then we were inside talking to some people. I was asking, what are y'all thoughts on just asking around? Are we gonna make a trade? Just asking random people that were talking to me because I was wearing my John Morant USA All Star Rising Star jersey from 2020. They were like, because they were like, oh my God, that's a great jersey. I said, thanks. Sorry. That's a great conversation. Sorry, wearing a bright orange jersey. So they were like, what's going to happen? I said, what do you think is going to happen? And they were telling me, they said, I think we're going to make a trade. Or they said, no, I'm sorry, they don't think we're going to make a trade. And I was like, what? Like, we don't want to blow up the core. I was like, listen, we're in win now mode.
That's what I've heard a lot of people say too.
So I said, answer me this. If you had to make a trade, who would you get rid of? I asked 10 people this. You know what the common answer was? One player. Dylan Brooks was the common answer.
Yeah.
And it was for Malik Beasley, OG Anunoby. It was for Jay Crowder. It was for all kinds of guys. People wanted. Because everybody knows we need shooting badly. Chris Vernon said it best on the show. This offseason, Jake and Rodney have 2 goals for this offseason. Work on corner threes. Work on take 7,000 shot threes all summer. 7,000 shots from the corner. Ja will get you your shots. Don't you worry about 12. He won't get the ball to you. He'll have you wide open. He's proven that his entire career. But you have to if we're going to do something, you got to make a move now.
Yes.
We are 10 days away from trade deadline. You were telling me GM Starkey's not here today. That's fine. I expect it to be big and bad next week.
I got you.
You were telling me you were reading more and more about OG Anunoby is looking very, very likely.
According to one report I read today, a lot of rival executives believe that the Grizzlies will be major players for OG.
So I think
the Raptors, sorry.
Go ahead.
The Raptors have a package right now of 3 first-round draft picks on the table for OG from a mystery team. We don't know who it is, but I believe I read, I could be wrong on this, at least one executive thinks it might be Memphis.
I mean, if you're going to do that, that's a great move. So I know what we both know what they're not going to do. They're not going to give up Danny Green.
No.
They have said time and time again.
Danny Green is going to be a Grizzly. And he wants to be here long term.
And you know what? I'm fine with that because he gives me that slow-mo Jay Crowder player that we need. Yep. So you make this trade for OG Anunoby. He's on contract till 2025.
Which
if you make it, it's got to be worth it.
Which I read today fits the age of the core and the timeline. Our win now timeline.
How old is he? He's 20. Oh, he's only 25. Holy cow!
He's only 25 years old. Yes.
He's 20. Jesus.
Yeah. That's why a lot of people are wanting him because he can come in and still be a young part of this core we've got going.
And you want something too? He's got tons of playoff experience.
He already has a ring, even though he didn't play with him that year.
So he's got, he's shooting 36% from 3 on 5 and he's literally doing Dylan Brooks stuff more efficient.
Yes.
So I think it's a great swap. Send DB back to Canada. So before we move on to our last 2 things for tonight, I want to talk about the trade packages. So right now, for example, Jay Crowder is on the market. As everyone well knows, he wants out. So they have said they want one of three. They want two of three things: first round draft pick, or multiple first rounders. I believe it's either one or multiple. I can't remember. I can't find it right now.
I read one.
Okay, yeah, well, that's right. That's right. Found it. It's one. You are correct. So it's one first round draft pick, a great role player, or a young star in the making. Bruh. So the Bucks apparently already have an offer out for Jay Crowder. Jordan Nwora, he would be their young guy there. Serge Ibaka.
Mm-hmm.
George Hill would fit that rotational player. And draft picks. I don't know if it was a first or not. They didn't say. All it says is draft picks. Multiple draft picks are involved. So that means me to say they're probably going to offer some twos.
Yeah.
But man, so if that's the asking price for Crowder, what do you think it's going to be like for a Malik Beasley, for an OG? Like you said, multiple, three. I remember we both had no issue doing that for Kevin Durant, not having to give up our core. I don't want to be played dry and giving up. I would say, contract rise, try to make it work next week. See what we can do for an OG. Make that one of your trades.
Got
it. So let's jump into which scandal do you want first? The big one or the biggest one?
Let's go small and large.
So the small one for the weekend is the fact that an NBA Reddit, it started all on Twitter, accusing the Memphis Grizzlies stat person literally packing Jaren Jackson Jr. stats at home.
Yeah.
It was John Assad started this over the weekend, literally saying, while Jaren Jackson is at home, he is playing the stats. They're giving him phantom blocks and steals that should not even be his. Because this is his home and road. Home, he's got 22 steals to 66 blocks. And on the road, he's got 12 steals to 37 blocks. So it's about a 10 different in steals and about right at 30 block difference.
Yeah.
So he's accusing the Memphis Grizzlies of padding stats to get Jaren Jackson Jr.
Defense player of the year.
Yes, because right now it's funny because at the beginning of the year, Jaren Jackson Jr. was at 10,000 to 1 odds, and now he's the odds-on favorite. I think it's 190 now. He's still the favorite by now.
Something like that. Yeah, he's definitely the favorite to win it.
So, and then the NBA, it literally got so bad the NBA got involved in it and literally said, "Yeah, this is accurate." So I was listening to Chris Vernon show, or not? That was The Ringer with Kevin O'Connor and Chris Vernon. And Kevin O'Connor went back and watched all these blocks at home and the road. He said, "Man, I can maybe see there's a three blocks that shouldn't have been given to him out of the 66." And the NBA, like literally. So I'm like, dude, shut up.
Right.
So Jaren Jackson Jr. had a great game Sunday night, and his response was the best. I beat the case. That was his response. I was hoping he would have hit us with, "Take that for data." Let's get a little David Fizdale back in here. I love it. Of them literally saying the Grizzlies stats person. I mean, we got to think, though, there's NBA guys watching this game, too, calculating stats as well.
Yeah.
Home and a road. Maybe just Jaren plays better at home. The Grizzlies do have they've only lost like 2 home games all year.
Yeah.
And on the road, we suck. Or maybe they just.
I think not.
Or maybe the statistician at Memphis is just way better than ones on the road. But also, weren't we making the argument last year for Jaren to be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Mr. First Team All Defense, and they're arguing he shouldn't even be in the running right now. Shut up.
Here's the conspiracy for you. Instead of flipping it on the Grizzlies, the road statisticians don't want him to win it, so they're not giving him what he deserves.
Yes. Ooh, I love that. So let's end the show
Take that
with
for
this.
data.
Ooh, I love it. Take that for data. That's only the podcast title this week. Take that for data. So to end the show, we had the worst call in sports history. LeBron James' foul not getting called against the Celtics.
It was blatant.
I mean, it was a blatant foul. But, hear me out. Do you know how many times I've seen the Warriors play any team and how many times illegal screens are set
Oh,
by
just
the
about
Warriors?
every game. Multiple times every game.
And what about the fact that those will never make the news? No one ever talks about them. What about the fact Draymond Green kicked Steven Adams in the nuts?
That's true, too.
Yeah. I mean, you get these fouls all the time. No one calls, and you don't see the NBA officiating. And then you literally hear the NBA officiating Twitter account comes out and says, let me see, I'm pulling it up, sorry.
You're good.
It literally said, like everyone else, referees make mistakes. We made one at the end of last night's game, and that is gut-wrenching for us. This play will weigh heavily and cause sleepless nights as we strive to be the best referees we can be. Starkey,
I'm sure they lost so much sleep over that.
This play will weigh heavily on us and cause sleepless nights. When have you ever seen something like that happen for any missed foul in NBA history? None.
You haven't.
But with the playoff games, there's missed fouls. None. I don't recall getting fouls like that.
No, absolutely not.
And then, but the best thing ever though is seeing Pat Bev get the photographer's camera and run it to the referee, and then he gets teed up for it.
Best tech in history.
I mean, I will gladly pay that fine. He doesn't have a fine yet. I don't think. Let me see. I don't think he's got a. I was looking it up earlier. I hadn't seen anything.
I haven't heard about a fine yet.
But the fact that he did that, I love that.
I gained a lot of respect for Pat Bev with that technical.
No, he has not been fined yet.
But hang on to your hat.
I mean, you know what? I'm glad if I'm LeBron, I'm paying that fine for him.
Absolutely.
I mean, I will say this: it is a missed call because it's LeBron. Everybody is going to go, "Oh my gosh!" I hate it. It pisses me off.
I will say this though: it's well documented on the show how big of a LeBron fan I am. But let me ask you this: worst temper tantrums, LeBron's or Harper?
LeBron.
That's what I was going to go with.
If I can get Harper to shut up, I can't get LeBron doesn't shut up. And then you have AD after the game saying the refs suck. He better watch him not get fined for that. Per NBA rules, if you make any comment in the negative way about officiating, you get fined. If Anthony Davis does not get fined, I'm going to lose my mind.
I want to say it's a minimum $25,000.
I think it is. So before we end the show, I'm going to say it earlier when we talked about the Grizzlies. So we should have beat Minnesota. We just didn't show up that night. We sucked. Yeah, I'm just glad we got things back together.
Yeah.
So before we end it, I do want to say one thing. The Pacers have a scary future ahead of them. Like, they're a team you're going to watch out for in the future. You have Tyrese Halliburton. So, I know we said there's not many ever even NFL. There's maybe one even trade in NFL history. Justin Jefferson for Stephon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
How about saying even trade Sabonis for Tyrese Halliburton?
Yeah, that's one of those that it was a win-win for both sides.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they still threw in Buddy Hield, but Tyrese Halliburton is leading he's 20-10. Benedict Mathurin. How many times have we had a guy ever? I was asking this before the show. Do you remember a guy being in Rookie of the Year running and Sixth Man of the Year running?
I think it's only happened once.
Yes, it was Malcolm Brogdon. He finished second in NBA Rookie of the Year. Or he won NBA Rookie of the Year, and he finished sixth in NBA Sixth Man.
Yeah.
We have that case right now. He's literally 2 right now, which is it's Pablo's to lose.
Oh, yeah.
It's Ventura's to lose. And then Sixth Man of the Year, you can make the argument. He's averaging 17. I'm sorry. He's averaging 17.5 points off the bench. 17.5 Starkey as a rookie.
Yeah.
Granted, he was taken 6 overall, but dude.
He's
So
gonna be
one
incredible.
last thing before. So I know I just said it, but Eric from the B Team podcast, the brother sister podcast of us, he made a great point. Yes, that we were during the Grizzlies losing streak, we were losing a lot, but you know what? We still maintain we still have a 3.5 game lead over the Kings for the 2 seed.
Yes. Yeah.
How about that? We go
that's
on a
big.
5-game losing streak. Or 6 game. Was it 6 or 5? It was 5.
No, I think it was 5. Yeah.
I think so. But we go on a massive losing streak, the longest losing streak while Taylor Jenkins has been head coach.
Yeah.
And we still have a 2.5 game lead over, or sorry, a 3.5 game lead over
the Kings.
So real fast, I keep saying before we it, but last thing, Taylor Jenkins still has a shot to be the NBA Western Conference coach in the All-Star game. 2-game lead. There, I think we have 3-4 games left. Basically, all the Grizzlies have to do is win out, and the Nuggets lose.
Yes.
If that happens, we will have our first ever coach in the NBA All-Star game.
Yep.
And we'll probably only have one All-Star. Stupid.
Makes no sense.
We'll save that for next week. So next week's show, Starkey will be playing more GM after we get closer to trade deadline. We'll recap. The show will probably be going on right when all the All-Star reserves get announced. Hopefully, we have 2, as we should. Recap more Grizzlies basketball, and we'll help get ready for the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Folks, that's going to do it tonight. Stay warm, stay classy, America.
Bye, y'all.